All right, I'm about to make this dude famous, and he doesn't even know it. But let me go ahead and start. Could this be one of the reasons why we date out? You can already tell you're about to be famous. So, I frequented a particular dating website in the recent months, and time again, I have come to notice a consistent theme which is unfortunately based on a racial divide. Below are two common and typical email replies I've received daily. Email 1, guess the race. Hello, from England to California. I love reading your profile. I like educated men. Just been over to CA a few weeks ago, and I'm sure that means California. Nice place you got there, laugh out loud. I was in Santa Monica for a bit. Have you ever been to England? Hope we can have a chat. Email 2, guess the race. I read your profile, and egads, you're a little too thrown out of the sexual innuendos and out and up and over and around your profile. So I'm going to give you a pass. Someone out there will surely dig every bit of you. Now, me being opinionated, I try not to discriminate when it comes to talking to women, be it black or white or otherwise. But over the course of time during my participation on a particular dating website, I've noticed that a certain race of woman often seem to be much more receptive, easygoing, open, and possessing of a sense of humor, while the other race of woman seem to be much more critical, condescending, devoid of most any kind of sense of humor or understanding of wit. Unless you're funny man Jamie Foxx or Chris Rock and you're at the comedy club. Well, in my experience, it seems black men are almost prone to date outside the race, if by no other cause than by default. Because who doesn't love a sweetheart in a woman? So, to all you guys out there who get the evil stare as you're out with your girl, don't fret, because everyone out there knows how in part you may have been led to that. I love a sig line, too. I want to die like my grandfather, in his sleep, not like the screaming passenger in his car. It's pretty funny. It's called wit, African American women. And this guy's screen name is Renee. My brother, you're now famous. But let me go ahead and move on, because that was just the opener to some recent discoveries by some dating websites when it comes to black men, white men, Indian men, Hispanic men, Pacific Islander male, Native American men, Asian men, and the opposites, the white woman, the African American woman, the Indian woman, the Asian woman, the Hispanic woman, the Pacific Islander woman, the Native American woman. You have to understand where I'm going with. Well, actually, let me put it to you this way. Kind of mind-blowing when you look at the actual facts when it comes to people who are trying to date each other, whether they're trying to date their own race or whether they're trying to date outside their race. But we've been listening to African American women expound that everything on this planet is African American men's fault. The reason why they're not desirable is African American men's fault. The reason why they date, or like the reason why African American men date white women is African American men's fault, because they were easily conditioned by the media, and and they don't like their mothers, and hate issues. They have self-hate issues. And recent events is just hilarious what's going on out here, because since African American women decided to, claim self-hate because black men, happen to date white women, and the God honest truth is that only 6% of African American men do this. So 90% of African American men date black women. But see, that's just not enough. 90% is not enough for the black woman. She just can't stand to see black men with any other woman except for her belligerent self. And listen to that word belligerent. I know they hate it now, but it's just who they are. It's not a stereotype. It's not something false. It is what it is. It's what African American women have given themselves a title as belligerent. And you can tell by this man's findings when trying to date on a dating website. He's like, this is how African American women generally reply to African American men. Now, I'm sure African American women right now want to just go ahead and dismiss this, but the facts are there now. It's just how you act. And he's saying, look, this other race of woman is just really cool and she's nice and she's fun. And that's generally what men are attracted to. But what African American women say is that no. All women feel this way. That's them trying to hide, trying to, muddy the waters. No, all women don't feel this way. It's just you. You're the only one who's actually having these problems. You're the only one who can't find a date. You're the only one having a problem finding black men. Nobody else is having this problem. You are the only one having a problem, so the problem must exist with you. But you still want to point towards the African American man. And what all these brothers on YouTube have been trying to tell you, trying to say to you, is that you get what you put into it. So if you put in a pile of boo-boo, you're going to get a pile of boo-boo. If you put in sweetness and roses and everything else like that, that's what you're going to get back. So let's get to some more famous issues. There's some recent stats that have been produced from a dating website. Let's take a look. Well. Here we are at okcupid.com. And these are stats. And basically, these stats reflect your race affects whether people write you back or not. And what they've come up with are stats that show how women respond to men, how men respond to women, and how the different racial groups respond to each other. And what's going on here is some cold, hard facts that black women cannot deny. There's no way around this one. It's just the way people view you, and it's just the way people view black men. It's the way people view white men. It's the way people view all the rest of the men, Hispanic, Asian, all that. Even Native Americans, Pacific Islanders, all that. And, for black men, there's news that is, relatively very good. And for black women, not so much. And let me go ahead and explain. And you're going to see some statistics that I've screenshot prepared for you. And let's go ahead through it. So first up in the stat area is going to be matched by race. So here's what it reads. Here's last week's compatibility by race table. I explained how we can confidently measure compatibility in that post. This is the blow up of the Leftmore table above. Okay. So what this table reflects is what they expected everything to match up. This is their stats. This is their average. This is their whim. This is their estimate. And what we're going to show to you next, or what I'm going to show to you next, is what is actually going on. And this is the breakdown over responses from the men to the women and the women to the men. Okay, let's go on down. Okay, reply rate by race from a male sender. Now, I know the chart looks awfully red, but you have to understand why. These are men trying to contact women. So men, no matter what happens when it comes to, sexuality, they're going to get a lot of denials from women. And the reason why is because they're men. Whether we want to admit it or not, even though we have to mate with each other, men are quite dangerous when it comes to society's woes, from wars to, assault, all that. So women have to be careful. So that's why you get a lot of red, on the board, period. So this is how when men send out, some information, this is what the women, this is how the women respond in terms of responding back. So what we're going to look at in particular right now is how the women respond to the different ethnic groups of men and who responds to each other the most. So looking at the original one, it was for white males. We're going to start there because that's the easiest one to decompile. Is 61%. They expect them to get 61%, but in actuality, they get 29%. Now, let's look at this. 29.2% is what the white males get. Now, by far, they're doing the best when it comes to getting responses back from women when on this dating website. Now, if we look in the second column, they're literally getting more responses back from African American women